Hello and welcome back to Swapnil's analysis, and I am Swapnil. Today we are going to discuss about Kamala Das and her beautiful poem My Grandmother's House. Now, My Grandmother's House was published in 1965 in the book Summertime in Calcutta. So Kamala Das, as we all know, is a very famous Indian poet, a woman poet or a poetess who has written about the post colonial India, who has written about the Indian life, and who was a very influential Indian woman poet and also the respected Indian woman poet in the post independent India. So, naturally, the Indian poet, she would talk about the problems faced by Indian woman, the problem faced by a wife, Indian wife, the problem faced by the life of an Indian woman in Indian cultural society, and that too, a Indian woman who is educated and who speaks English. Therefore, Kamala Das, she was well aware that how the contemporary society behold at her. But this poem is a very beautiful and in a way a very romantic one. So as we all know that what is the place of our grandfather and our grandmother in our life, they play a very important role. Means when we born, they are already in their 50s or 60s, and they live only to 10 to 15 years, and luckily if they get chance then they live for a more time. So most all of our grandfather, we get chance to live with them only for 15 to 16 years, so on, if lucky more than that. So in this poem, a woman, she is talking with her daughter, or she is actually ruminating and likewise informing her daughter about her grandmother and her life in the village, how her childhood was in the village. Now probably we should assume that now she is living in a city, and after so many years, she is now remembering her grandmother and her grandmother's house, and how she pines for that grandmother's house. And this she is informing to her daughter, who has never been to a village and who has never seen a house in a village. And therefore the title of the poem is My Grandmother's House, which was published in 1965 in the book Summertime in Calcutta. 1965, My Grandmother's House. There is a house now far away where once I received love. The first line is so impressive. Therefore, I like Kamala Das, that what she is informing to her daughter is that there is a house far away where we are living now. It is that house is far away where once I had received love from my grandmother. That woman died. Now my grandmother, means that old lady, that woman, she is dead. The house which is far away from our house where I had received love when I was a child. Now that woman is died. That woman is no longer alive. The house withdrew into silence. Snakes moved among books. I was then too young to read, and my blood turned cold like the moon. So here, what she is talking about now, that the house is still there in the village, but no one lives in that house. Now, who lives in that house? Snakes. That house is in a very ruined condition. That house is in a very ruined condition. And she probably had witnessed a snake among the books. And therefore she says that snakes moved among the books. She's talking about the village. And I was too young to read. And my blood turn cold like the moon. Whenever I remember that house, I miss that house. And that makes me very chilling. That makes me very cold. That makes me very emotionless. That is, she is here ruminating. She is recalling her childhood's memories, and also here she is implicating towards the importance of that house and that deceased woman. That was her grandmother. How often I think of going there to peer through blind eyes of windows and just listen to the frozen air. Now that house is still there, means the structure of that house is still there. And many a time she had planned of visiting the village to see the house, and see it's very beautifully she has explained, because so many times we miss the house. Means for instance, we own the house, means our parents they own the house, but just imagine, when we were child we lived in a very we lived in a rented house, but we still consider that rented house as our house. And most of the time when we grow up and suddenly when we pass through that area, pass through that road, we immediately look at that our rented house or our old house where we had spent our childhood. And here this house was her own house. So many a time she had planned of visiting to the village and to see the house. And that's what she is informing us here, that how often I think of going there. Because I had planned so many times that okay, just go and just see the structure, just see the house. And why she wants to go there? To peer through blind eyes of windows, to peer through the broken windows. She does not want to live there. She just want to see the house now, how that house looks now. And she just want to recollect all those childhood memories. She just wants to peer through the windows. She just want to see that house. Just listen to the frozen, just listen to the frozen air. She just want to feel that house again. And many of the time she had planned, but she could not go to the house. Or in wild despair, pick an armful of darkness to bring it here to lie behind my bedroom door like the brooding dog. So here she just wanted to visit to the village, wanted to see the house, and just wanted to have a glimpse of her house and just go inside and see the every room where she had spent her childhood. She just want to relive her childhood and again come back to the her city house and all those memories. That's what she says, that all the pick an armful of darkness to bring it here to lie behind me, just to bring all those memories, just to bring all those dark rooms. Now no one lives there besides the nature, besides the animals. See, now she's talking, she's explaining all this to her daughter. Therefore, here she's that, you cannot believe, darling, can you, that I lived in such a house and was proud and loved. I who have lost my way and beg now at strangers' doors to receive love, and at least in small change. So here she is informing to her daughter that you would not believe that how I have spent my childhood. Can you? You cannot believe, because I have received such a kind of a love in that house that now I just break to a stranger. Stranger here, she is talking about her husband. Stranger here, she is talking about her husband. See the last line, my way, and beg now at stranger's door to receive love, at least in small change. Stranger here is the, means in Indian condition, most of the Indian people, they get married in arranged way, means they have arranged marriage, means they marry a person whom they had not known earlier, who they had not seen earlier. Therefore, she is saying the stranger. Now she is begging to a stranger. Now she is at her husband's mercy, that to receive the love. And here she is saying that I had lived in such a house where a woman, she loved me a lot, and I missed that house. And many a time I had planned to visit that house, but because of Indian condition and because her marriage was an arranged marriage, she could not go to that house. She wants to see that house. Therefore, she is informing her daughter about that house, about that grandmother's house. A very interesting poem. You should read this poem. And if you have liked my presentation, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.